Today, we're going to learn about the macrocosmos, metaphysics and mapping the universe, an excerpt from the Cosmic Dance, written and collected by Stephen Ellcock. And so, on to infinity. Early attempts at mapping the structure of the universe were made by the ancient Egyptians 5,000 years ago, when the Falcon god Horus was said to have conquered the god of chaos, Set, and the concept of divine kingship was established. Observing the movement of the sun across the horizon, Egyptians surmised that the sky goddess, Nut, gave birth to the sun god, Ra, once a year. They developed a calendar by dividing the 360-degree ecliptic into 36 sections, each identified by a group of stars of 10 degrees each, known as decans. The rising of consecutive decans on the horizon marked decan hours and groups of 10 days, resulting in 360 days in a year. The Egyptians added 5 extra days to this to equate to a solar year of 365 days. In Mesopotamia, from Sumerian times, priests attempted to equate events on Earth with specific positions of the planets and stars. From 1830 BCE onwards, Babylonian astronomers recorded observations relating to celestial phenomena. By daily recording the positions of the planets, the rising and setting of the moon, and the appearance of eclipses, they formulated a 12-month calendar based on the lunar cycles, and they calculated how to predict eclipses, which they believed could foretell the death of a king. From circa 1200 BCE, astronomers collated star catalogues, listing constellations, stars and planets in the zodiac, the section of the sky that extends approximately 8 degrees north or south of the ecliptic. The earliest Babylonian star catalogue, known as 3 stars each, divides the heavens into 3 equal parts: a northern hemisphere belonging to the god of wind, air and earth, Enlil, an equator ruled by Anu, the supreme god, and a southern hemisphere belonging to Enki, the god of water, knowledge and creation. The sun spent 3 consecutive months in each third. There are 36 stars listed in the catalogue, 3 for each month. The most extensive and accurate record of comets were made by the ancient Chinese, from 613 BCE. Comets have always been considered a bad omen, signaling the impending death of a king or another disaster. Aristotle, who lived from 384 to 322 BCE, thought that comets were created from a mixture of the 4 elements and emanated from the upper atmosphere of the Earth. It was not until 1577 CE, when Tycho Brahe, who lived from 1546 to 1601, was able to chart the course of a comet precisely in the skies above Europe, that it was proved that comets traveled through space. Babylonian star catalogues found their way to ancient Greece in the 4th century BCE, but it was not until the establishment of Alexandria as the center of Greek culture in Ptolemaic Egypt after 305 BCE that Babylonian astrology was combined with Egyptian decanic astrology and Greek planetary gods and the 4 elements to create horoscopic astrology. Alexandrian scholar Claudius Ptolemy, who lived around 100 to 170 CE, set out the rationale and principles of this astrology in a text known as Tetrabiblos, which later became the basis of Renaissance astrology. Ptolemy was also responsible for a treatise on astronomy known as the Almagest. Using astronomical observations made over 800 years, together with his own observations using an early astrolabe, he constructed a geocentric model of the universe in which the sun, moon, planets and stars all orbit Earth. He held that the Earth was spherical rather than flat, and that the movement of the planets was circular. He also included tables by which to calculate the future position of the planets, and a star catalogue of 48 constellations. It was not until the 16th century that astronomer and cleric Nicholas Copernicus, who lived from 1473 to 1543, established the heliocentric model of the universe. In On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Spheres, written in 1543, he proposed that the Earth is another planet, and that all the planets orbit a fixed sun in a circular motion, the Earth revolving once around the sun in the course of a year and turning on its axis once a day. Johannes Kepler, who lived from 1571 to 1630, improved on Copernicus' theory by suggesting in Astronomia Nova, written in 1609, that the movement of the planets was elliptical and not circular. And in 1687, Isaac Newton, who lived from 1642 to 1727, proposed universal gravity and the law of gravitational attraction, which supported Kepler's theory, completing the Copernican revolution. In 1925, it was established beyond doubt that the Milky Way containing our solar system constitutes just one of many galaxies in the universe. Using the world's largest telescope at Mount Wilson Observatory in California, Edwin Hubble, who lived from 1889 to 1953, captured photographs of distant spiral nebulae, revealing them to be composed of innumerable individual stars. Today, it is known that there are approximately 200 billion galaxies in the observable universe, and that the entire universe is constantly expanding.
In the vast cosmical changes, the universal life comes and goes in unknown quantities. Enormous gearing, whose first motor is the gnat, and whose last wheel is the zodiac.
Victor Hugo, Les Miserables, 1862. The division of the zodiac, the belt of sky visible from Earth as it orbits the Sun, into 12 signs can be traced to Babylonian astronomers of the 1st millennium BCE. The ancient Egyptian Dendera zodiac, dating to 50 BCE, is the first known depiction of the 12 signs, each representing 30 degrees of celestial longitude and corresponding to a star constellation. Some of its icons are familiar Greco-Roman forms, such as the ram and the bull, while others are Egyptian, such as the god Hapi for Aquarius. It was the Alexandrian astrologer Ptolemy who, in the 2nd century CE, codified the system with ruling planets and houses.
The soul of the newly born baby is marked for life by the pattern of the stars at the moment it comes into the world, unconsciously remembers it, and remains sensitive to the return of configurations of a similar kind.
Johannes Kepler, Harmonics Mundi, 1619.
Heaven walks among us ordinarily muffled in such triple or tenfold disguises that the wisest are deceived, and no one suspects the days to be God's.
Ralph Waldo Emerson, Letter to Margaret Fuller, 1840.
The stars are like letters that inscribe themselves at every moment in the sky. Everything in the world is full of signs. All events are coordinated.
Plotinus, Enneads, circa 268 CE.
Deep in the shady sadness of a vale, far sunken from the healthy breath of morn, far from the fiery moon and Eve's one star, sat grey-haired Saturn, quiet as a stone, still as the silence round about his lair.
John Keats, Hyperion, 1818.
We are no other than a moving row of magic shadow shapes that come and go, round with the sun-illumined lantern held in midnight by the master of the show.
Omar Khayyam, The Rubaiyat, 1120. I bid you a good evening, listener, and congratulate you for making it to the end.